WWDC kicked off yesterday, so did you watch the video?
I did. I thought it was very well scripted, but I had 5 big surprises.
Oh, yeah? There were surprises?
100% did not expect. Number 5,
yeah?
Turns out it's been running on Windows all along. Had no idea.
Had no idea.
Big surprise. Number 4, Mac OS 26 Tahoe fits on 13 3.5-inch floppies, which is pretty good, right? It's very efficient. Yeah, they've compressed the shit out of it.
Sure.
Number 3, you can no longer make phone calls from your iPhone.
Now you won me over to iPhone. Totally. I was on the Android. I would switch to the iPhone for that.
They said it's the least used feature on the phone.
They finally got rid of it.
They say that phone calls actually is less than a third of the time compared to playing Angry Birds. Yeah, they finally got rid of it. Number 2, also very surprising. Turns out all of your files in iCloud are stored on C:\/ in the sky. You would have thought it was a more advanced system.
C:; is not local. It's in the cloud.
It's not local. It's in the cloud.
Yeah.
And then the biggest surprise this year's 2025 WWDC, the return of the iPod Classic.
Quiet, please.
Shut up, Matt.
Oh, fantastic.
We're having fun.
In 4.
So you thought you'd do a bit,
3.
huh?
I like it.
2.
Company presents a truly terrible podcast. Welcome to Nonsense Season 3, Episode 26. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Jodel.
This is our take on the week's business, tech, and entertainment headlines. This time, Ukrainian drones hit Russian electronic warfare facility in Chuvasha Republic.
Is that like a Best Buy? Like a Russian electronic warfare facility just says Best Buy on the outside? No?
Beyond Siri, unpacking Apple's AI and OS overhaul at WWDC.
Man, I hope I can resize my windows from the left corner now. That'd be amazing.
Charge your EV in 5 minutes. BYD's Megawatt Monster. So much power, so little time.
No, just no. That is a terrible idea to put that much energy through anything that I'm near.
Coming.
No.
It's coming.
No.
5-minute charges for your EV.
No.
Also, our big story later this week is about our next energy revolution. Infinite power right under our noses.
I didn't think my feet could do that, but now we're just taking the Flintstones approach.
Fantastic.
To energy.
It's National Iced Tea Day, a refreshing oasis in a glass. Celebrate the chill, the sweet, the tart, the endless combinations. From humble beginnings to a global sensation, iced tea is pure summer bliss. Sip it slow, down it fast, a frosty companion for any occasion. Lemon, mint, peach, or plain. Raise a glass to this iconic thirst-quenching delight, the undisputed champion of cool.
Now, to any of our listeners who have been here for more than a season or two, if you just take all of these national days and stitch them together, you will have all of the things that Jeff loves in life. So if you just stitch all of those together and put them into his Christmas stocking, I'm telling you, I'll have a very happy co-host. That's all you got to know.
I wanted to cut this whole National Day bit a long time ago.
I know, but then you keep finding stuff.
Today was National Iced Tea Day. You're not going to cut that. You and I both love tea.
Totally. I can't wait for National Home Automation Zigbee Day. You're going to wear a...
It's coming.
You're going to be dressed up, fucking hat on.
How is your week going, sir?
I feel like summer is finally here. I cannot complain. It's getting warm in LA, which is lovely.
Love it.
Warmer, I guess, for the rest of folks. My weeks are filled with birthday parties. I had 5 birthday parties this past weekend.
Wow.
That's a lot
of birthday parties.
Yeah. Yeah. When the staff at Chuck E. Cheese knows you when you're walking up and they already have your beer ready for you, then you know you're doing it right.
When you walk in and they greet you like you're Norm.
Totally. Exactly. When I want CJ, hey! Yeah, we're straight to the trampoline. It's been pool parties.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
Do you buy one present and just 5 copies of that present? Is that how do you do the birthday presents?
Is a great question. Okay, so last year, being parent noobs, we didn't do it well. We were like, every time there's one coming up, oh, fuck, what are we going to do? Go to Target, order a thing, ask our kid, what's this kid into? They don't know. We're guessing. And you basically end up buying things that I feel like there's a 1 in 5 chance the kid is actually going to want to keep.
Sure.
You just end up buying a bunch of throwaway stuff. My wife, who is the smart one of the two of us,
for sure,
she said, let's do something thoughtful that the kids can use that they otherwise wouldn't sort of have. And this year, our presents have been very nice color Yeti water bottles that are custom laser engraved with the kid's name.
That's nice.
And every kid's got one, and they're awesome. We put it in a little pack. It's got a little box. It's got some funfetti in it.
Funfetti?
It's got some other little like trinkety, like throwaway stuff. Yeah, funfetti. Yeah.
What is that?
It's like a shredded paper of different colors.
Okay.
And then you got like little happy birthday, like glittery thing. Not glittery, but like little shiny things.
Sure.
It's just fun. It's like when you open it up. But what's great about this is we bought all this shit at the start of the year in bulk. And then we just make the boxes and everybody gets
You knew the kids' names. You knew what kids have in grade ahead.
So we order the cups as we get the invites. We basically order them and take about 2 weeks to get here. I did start putting together a laser engraving rig to do this myself. That has not been completed because I have too many projects. Mm-hmm. But we started bringing the stuff all together. What has been great is you don't have to think. we just put the box together, and everyone loves them.
Sure.
And the best part has been when I'm at school, I see the kids running around. I'll see water bottles that we've given them, and they're using them, and they're beat to shit, and they love them.
Yeah.
And that has been awesome. So now we're like, oh shit. The problem is,
What do you do next year?
people now expect this. So now what do you do next year?
Got to raise your game.
We have guarded like the secret winners of the Academy Awards. Only my wife and I know. She has also come up with some great ideas, and we think we're going to be probably even better next year. So
Every kid gets an aquarium.
every kid gets a project. You want something that requires work. And you get a puppy, and you get a puppy. Like the boxes have little holes poked in it. It's like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Anyway, it's been a lot of birthday parties, and it's been playing video games with my kids. My kids are getting way too fucking good at Mario Kart.
That's fun.
No, it is not. Because I suspect by the end of this calendar year, Daddy's no longer going to be better than them. And this concerns me greatly. This is like take the shoelaces out of my shoes sort of talk.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, there's that. We have summer camps coming up. We have video game summer camps coming up, which is super cool. I'm taking them camping in the Sequoias. I'm very excited. It's a nice start to summer. So I'm super excited. It's all looking very rosy and optimistic to me. How about you? How's your week?
I love it. Well, LA is on fire.
Oh fuck.
As you may know, at least 3 Waymos were on fire.
Yes. By the way, the Waymos.
I know.
Just come on, the Waymos.
You know, I was kind of okay with them throwing the what are those scooters called? The
lime scooters.
The lime scooters into the fire. I was kind of okay with that. The Waymos, you've gone a bridge too far.
The lime scooters. You're like, you know what? You should probably get a prize for that. I feel like everyone you destroy, you get a little merit badge.
Let's backtrack and just say people held protests over the recent ICE, U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement raids that resulted in over 100 immigration arrests.
Yeah.
Trump sent in the National Guard to shut the protests down.
Yeah.
The protesters clashed with the National Guard, shock and surprise.
Yeah.
California is suing.
My understanding is they don't have bullets in those guns, not yet, but that is mildly concerning. LAPD does have less than lethal authorization. Here's the thing, though. What the fuck? The LAPD in this scenario are the good guys. Why are you throwing shit at them?
Oh, yeah.
Them, there were a bunch of CHP cars that were ruined. I get it. They write speeding tickets. Maybe they're not your favorite, but what the fuck? They're not there deporting folks.
Well, you don't know if it's the ICE protesters who are destroying
That's my
the
assumption.
Waymos or the LAPD. Yeah, it's your assumption, but it might be an incorrect assumption.
No. My assumption is that they are not. My assumption is just people that are going out looking for a fucking good time.
Yeah.
And want to smash up some CHP cars.
Or people who want to make the ICE protesters look bad.
Exactly.
You get both.
Exactly. And by the way, success.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job because they all just get lumped together into one big bucket of protesters. To be clear, my view here is that most folks that actually want to see changes in ICE enforcement aren't the ones that are throwing cinder blocks at CHP vehicles.
The daytime protesters, which seem to be legit ICE protesters, seem to be fairly peaceful.
Generally speaking, yes.
It isn't until the sun starts to go down that we get a little crazy here.
Yeah. What do you want to do tonight? Well, we could watch that show on Netflix they plugged on nonsense, or we could go throw some lime scooters at some CHP cars. What do you think? Like, which one do you want to do? I'm assuming, again, I don't know, but I'm making that assumption that that's what's there. And then, do you really want to make this much worse by calling in what appears to the average folk to be an armed militia? Because that's what the National Guard looks like.
Calling in an armed militia. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's why calling them in was opposed by the governor, Gavin Newsom, and the mayor, Karen Bass.
And the mayor,
They called it an unnecessary escalation.
Which, big surprise, it has now escalated things and tensions.
Right. Protesters blocked the 101 freeway and set the self-driving Waymos on fire and engaged in all sorts of vandalism.
Again, why the Waymos? What did they do to
I
you?
know.
What did the Waymos do?
The Guard declared unlawful assemblies and used tear gas, rubber bullets, and flashbangs to dispense the crowd, making dozens of arrests. Local officials blame the heightened unrest on the federal deployment. Now, just to make things worse, 700 Marines have been deployed to Los Angeles.
As of our recording. Yeah, that can only make it better. Everything always calms down when the Marines get there.
Sure. This is not going to be a problem, is it?
Now, also, what's nuts about this is most people, if you haven't spent any time in LA, even if you have, LA is fucking massive, right?
Sure.
Southern California is 20 million people. LA City itself is 4 million people. This is all happening in downtown. So it is a bajillion miles away from pretty much all of the rest of LA City even. And life is just carrying on like normal.
Everywhere else.
Most other places other than downtown. So Los Angeles is not going to collapse. It's not on fire. The whole city is not burning down to the ground. It is concentrated in downtown, and it's not here. And that's what's nuts is one of my neighbors was like, oh, I think I heard some of the explosions from downtown. I'm like, there is zero fucking chance.
No, you didn't.
It is more likely you heard a sonic boom from Butch's poop capsule coming out of the ISS than this.
Or the chili CJ had. Could be either one. You don't really know.
I feel seen. It was good. I was hungry.
Waymo has shut down service to downtown.
Yeah, of course.
But the rest of the Waymo service all over Los Angeles is still running.
What was it supposed to do? It got there and it was like, guys, got a cinder block. Fucking turn on the hazards. You'll be safe. Turn on the hazards. Everything's fine. Just turns on the hazard lights, and then he's like, why are you hurting me?
Anyway, that's my week. I try not to get too wrapped up in such craziness, but at the same time, it is our city, and so it is kind of right in front of our noses. Of
course.
So we get to our headlines.
We should do our headlines. Let's get to some nice, happy headlines.
Ukrainian drones extend reach, cripple Russian electronic warfare facility. On June 9th, 2025, Ukrainian drones attacked Russia's VNIIR Progress facility in Cheboksaria, Chuvisha Republic, causing explosions and fires. Ukraine's general staff confirmed the strike, saying it targeted facilities for drones and guided aerial bombs aiming to degrade Russia's air attack capabilities. The U.S. and EU sanctioned VNIIR Progress specializes in electronic warfare systems. Local authorities reported 2 drones hit, temporarily halting production. This marks the second reported Ukrainian drone strike in Chuvisha following a March attack on an oil refinery. Recent Ukrainian strikes have targeted various Russian military facilities.
So the first thing that caught my eye on this is I can't really decide who is shittier at naming companies, the Russians or the Chinese. This feels like they just played Scattergory and got some random letters and put, I'm sure it means something.
I think the goal is to make it not memorable because it's doing all sorts of warfare activities that are, not great.
I think this is fascinating. So these were pretty deep inside Russian territory, from what I understand.
Yeah.
They seem to be very targeted strikes. Like these folks are in this facility are making things that are then being
used against the Ukrainians.
Yes. Yeah. So that seems pretty awesome of a strike. They also, it's like this electronic warfare, right? So these are like the jammers and the antennas, all the things that also help prevent the Ukrainians from doing what they do sort of at the front lines against the Russians.
Defending themselves, sure.
Really fascinating to me. Yeah. But this also drugged me into something else that I kind of knew was happening but didn't read about. So this electronic warfare, right? This is like, think of this as like radio jammers, right? Probably a very primitive way to think of it. And this is complicated because when you've got a drone coming in, especially these FPV drones that some operator is flying remotely, if you can jam it, you can basically make the drone strike useless, all right? It might fly all the way to you, but if it can't hit its target because you've jammed it, if it can't get that last mile,
can't get the instructions for where to go and what to do and all that. Yeah. And some of these drones, in all fairness, do have autonomous piloting at some point. But
at some point,
many of them don't.
Yeah.
Many of them don't.
And so, but what's interesting is some of the estimates are as high as 75% of these FPV drones are lost to jamming. So what's been happening this year, this calendar year, and Russia started this, but it sounds like the Ukrainian forces have caught up.
Ukraine's gotten good at it too.
Yeah. They're now deploying drones that are I don't want to say guided by, but their control mechanism is a fiber optic cable.
They have a data line.
It's flying a fucking data line behind it.
An umbilical cord that is bringing its data, which is why the pictures are so good coming out of them, because it's sending back images.
Yeah. And these things are going kilometers. Like it seems like sort of the middle of the road
with
one
the
right
fiber,
now.
With the fiber attached to it.
It's a 10-kilometer piece of fiber behind it, which is bananas to me.
You can't jam that.
So you can't jam it, but I am really fascinated to think about, especially like a autonomous or quasi-autonomous sort of defense drone. All you gotta do is cut that cable, right? You cut the cable, the drone's dead. So you just gotta find the cable and cut it. So if you see a drone flying through the air and there's no radio signature, just get behind it with a giant fucking blade, right? Just fly behind it and cut that thing.
Snip.
It's really fascinating. I mean, supposedly there have been videos of some Russian drones that have something like 40 or 50 kilometer long fiber optic cables, like a 4-kilo
That's amazing.
cable spool, which is amazing. I got to believe this is going to be short-lived, because I have to believe there's going to be some response, a mechanism that's going to make these things non-optimal. But it is really fascinating to think about how much damage can be done by pulling a cable. Keep command and control of your.
Also, if you want to know who did the bombing, follow the cable back to the guy's apartment.
Yeah. And you're either going to find the person who did the bombing or a pot of gold. I don't know which. It depends. I get confused. And there are videos that I've seen from some like open fields, right, that are just absolutely covered in fiber optic cables, right? These really thin fiber optic cables. Yeah. So I'm fascinated to know how they're getting transmissions over that kind of distance that reliably, especially when you're just spooling this thing out. You only need to work for a short period of time. It's pretty interesting. So that's what's happening. And the Ukrainians are being just so calculated with their attacks, from transit bridges, I think, to Crimea. They took out one of the bridges that I think is back online, at least partially. Obviously, we had the air attacks from a couple weeks ago where they went after a bunch of the strategic bombers. They seem to be doing a lot with the little resources they have, and that's super impressive.
And they're mostly doing it through really cool technology.
Yeah.
You have to give great
guerrilla
props
technology
to the Ukrainian engineers who are figuring these things out.
And they were concerned with these fiber optics, because my first thought was like, well, shit, all your fiber optics are coming from China. China China's, if they're going to pick who to cozy up to more, it's probably not going to be the money of the Ukrainians. It's probably going to be the money of the Russians. So I kind of look at it and I go, that's not good. They just spun up their own sort of fiber production facilities inside Ukraine, that they were just like, yeah, we're going to do this here, not because we want to, because we have to.
Right.
Because we need preservation.
That's a very long-term strategy. That's not a short-term,
the only way.
That's not we're just in a quick war here. We're going to be out of this in no time. This is, we're planning for our defense for a very long time.
They have to be in this to win this. It's their livelihood, right? And it's incredible to me. So this is super interesting. There's going to be more of this. I suspect every couple of weeks we're going to be talking more and more about this.
I'm shocked there are still drones after that first drone strike. There are still drones that they can deploy within Russia. Who knows how many other drones they have?
I mean, so is there do we have ads on Craigslist, wanted? It's a picture of the containers, the boxes that are running around. They're trying to find them.
Sure.
It's really fascinating to me. And you think about how much might be, dropped off somewhere. They have battery units in them, they're just dropped off in a field somewhere. Who knows? It's camouflage. Good luck finding it.
Absolutely amazing.
Pretty nuts.
The liquid glass era begins. What WWDC 2025 means for your Apple devices. WWDC 2025 is here, and it's all about a major software refresh. Expect a unified liquid glass design across iOS 26, iPadOS 26, macOS 26, and watchOS 26. By the way, they've changed the way.
I see a theme.
They've changed the way that they name their operating systems now.
Yes.
They give it next year's year.
Yeah.
This isn't the one we put out this year. This is what we're going to put out next year.
This is great.
Which is probably good because their features don't make it into the device actually until next year.
Oh, yeah. No,
so
that's what they're telling you. Yeah.
Now they're just
features will come at the
honest
tail.
about it.
Yeah,
Sure.
we just put the numbers in early. It's the year of the mea culpa is really what they're saying. This is the year we're going to give you the mea culpa for the thing we don't deliver.
This will bring a translucent Vision OS inspired aesthetic to all your devices.
Okay, so first of all, renumbering their OSs I think makes a lot of sense. They pretty classically have been doing deliveries every year. And if there's one thing that I've learned from doing this show with you for 3 seasons, is that it doesn't matter how good it is, clearly if you listen, you just got to ship it every fucking week. And I feel like Apple has gotten in that cadence over the past sort of decade and a half.
I think that's exactly right. But also, unlike last year, don't make promises you can't keep.
They have delivered a lot of the parts of their sort of Apple Intelligence.
Oh, there's so much missing. You can't talk to Siri and have it do things
no.
You can't talk to Siri and have it do cross app. They'll never be able to do that.
Yeah, but you can make your icons all orange.
Okay, that's great. Yay.
Right?
Yay. Okay, they're good. They made good on their promises. All good.
Now, look, I think just from the numbering perspective, there was no chance I could keep which iOS versions for which, what is the watch on? What's the Vision OS?
Oh, yeah.
This makes a lot of sense right now. What's amazing is, to my knowledge, and from what I think Tim Cook said, Apple's the first company to ever put years into their software releases. This has never been done before. No. Windows has never had a year after it.
It's never been a Windows 95.
Yeah. But they fell out of an annual cadence, and especially because it was software in a box you had to buy, that market just didn't work, right? I mean, you had Office 95, 97, and then I think the next bump was 2000. They did not have this annual cadence, and I think part of that's because consumers didn't want to buy it every year. This makes a lot of sense to me, just from a numbering perspective. The things they're doing, most of it looks incremental. I think most of it looks pretty compelling. I mean, there's some really interesting stuff in iPadOS. I feel like Vision OS is finally real.
This is the year of Vision OS. This is the year it's going to be popular.
Man, I don't know. It does feel like, this thing might be.
This is when it takes off. Finally, this is
it was. Yeah, I feel like this might be the knee in the curve, and we saw that with watchOS, right? When the watch came out, everyone's like, overhyped, not terribly interesting, and now they sell more watches than all of Switzerland combined. I mean, it's some bananas number of watches that they sell.
The big thing for me for the watch that really made the watch, be a must wear, and it's on my Android watch as well. It's on your Apple. It's the tap to pay.
Oh yeah, tap to pay is great.
Suddenly tap to pay, it's like, okay, if I don't have my watch, that's a bummer. So much more work to pay.
There's a lot of scale problems that I have with Vision OS and just their current Vision implementation at large. The fact that I'm completely isolated, even with personas, it still feels weird to me. I think it's great for remote working. It just doesn't fit in every environment. It's not supposed to fit in every environment. When they get their glasses up to speed, I think it'll help fill that gap. So I can see a path. I'm just saying it's not this one thing that fits everything.
I've only played with yours and only for a limited amount of time, and I actually had a great time with it. The thing for me is the close focusing on something that's an inch away from my eyes gets really fatiguing.
Yeah.
But I really liked the thing where we got to see the woman doing the
tightrope
tether, the tightrope across the canyon. That was amazing. That was incredible.
Content is such a compelling use case for me with these things. And it looks like as part of Vision OS 26, they are now allowing easier access to 360 camera video inside it, which I think will be really compelling. You're still going to be monopic. It's not going to be stereoscopic. I don't know if they're doing some tricks with AI processing to be able to give you stereoscopic. They may be, or maybe at some point. I do suspect you're going to see stereoscopic 360 cameras in the next couple of years.
Sure.
That's going to be a game changer. That the idea of that, of being able to like put a camera on my helmet and go run around and then play it back and be able to look around while you're moving, I think is a really compelling use case for content.
Monopic is really cool. I've seen movies
still great.
that are like that. And it's absolutely, you watch them in the glasses and you can turn your head in every which direction. And it's really cool.
I've started at my kids' events. I've started like school events. I've started putting up a 360 camera and just letting it run. Is it as good as doing, some panning and zooming in? No. But I can just reframe later, and you don't know if some kids are going to jump up and yell when, excited when something happens. Like, you get the whole experience. I think it's really compelling. My only concern is hard drives, because it just consumes all of the bits, all of the bits. It's super interesting to me. I love the incremental feature changes they've done. iPadOS got a huge overhaul. macOS got some incremental improvements. The new one's called Tahoe. I think everybody already knew that. Hooray. They brought some of the things from iOS and iPadOS into macOS. I thought was pretty compelling. Continuity looks to be greatly improved. I do think I look at an ecosystem, I go, man, I don't know how much better this can get. And they seem to really make it better every year. I am actually impressed. They also released a paper. What was this, like yesterday, right? I think the day of. They released a paper that they're like large reasoning models. They top out. There's certain problems they can't solve. It's
they're poo-pooing a certain kind of AI.
A little bit. I don't know. I read this. I'm like, first of all,
that's what the paper was. Yeah,
it feels like a press release more than it felt like a white paper.
Totally. And they released it the week before WWDC.
Right before WWDC.
Ignore the AI stuff we talked about
remember last year. We talked about AI, but it turns out it's got its limitations. Like, of course it has its fucking limitations. And of course there's things that it can't do well yet. Yeah. I was like, but I do feel like it's going to get there. Maybe there's more nuance to this than I Understand. I will say Jan LeCun, who is considered one of the sort of fathers of modern AI, he has said something along these lines now consistently for years. We'll see, right? We'll see what comes to hold true. But I just thought that it was fascinating. They're like hard problems it can't solve. Well, it's kind of interesting. It's worth reading the paper, I think, a little bit. I read the abstract on it. I'm like, all right. Yeah. But it felt like a PR.
It was like written by an intern, and they released it like it was news.
Yeah. But that intern's probably really fucking smart. The intern wasn't like,
maybe,
I don't know, like, am I going to go work as a fucking lifeguard at the community pool or Apple? Can't be sure. I'm sure it was an exceptional intern.
I don't think it's really groundbreaking information. I just think it's kind of, the interesting part was when it was released. That I think is the interesting part of the whole story.
Yeah.
Ignore the AI. It's not that great. And now here's WWDC.
The video, by the way, looked lovely. People should go watch the opening. I don't want to spoil it for you, but the opening's really fun. The close is the best thing I've seen in a while. I know Jeff was not impressed at all. I thought the close was super fun and super unique. Don't give it away to the people.
Okay.
Let the people find it. But it's really fun. It's worth watching, I think, especially even if you're just a mild technologist. It's a fun couple of minutes to watch the close. They had a lot of features for content creators that I thought was interesting. They seem to be really going after the creator segment more. I haven't seen them do this. It's not that I can recall, but that seemed interesting to me. My only complaint was it wasn't IRL. I mean, it was IRL for like news and media, which apparently we aren't considered anymore.
Oh, the whole WWDC event. There were no civilian spectators.
Yeah, being there last year with a bunch of developers was a lot of fun, and it's really the energy is really pretty impressive.
Why did they cut off all?
I don't know.
In-person viewers.
I don't know. That's a good question. You still get the same content. You still get the same content up. You've got all the same sessions, but there's something about the in place, in real life event for developers that I think is really interesting and really fun.
You like that they're going to come out with what's the translation? The
live translation looks
super excited
really
about
interesting.
Live translation.
I want to see it work, right? So I'm going to suspend disbelief for now and pretend that it's amazing. But I want to see it work. Is it text? Is it audio? But live translation, I think, is a really novel concept. Not in that it's novel new, but I think novel new to people to use. I love the idea of mass adoption. The ability to talk to someone and communicate with someone when you're separated by language is really fascinating to me. Yeah. And I love that idea. Being able to have a phone call with someone in a different language and be able to still communicate is really, really interesting. So we'll see.
It's not that novel. It was on the Pixel in 2021.
In real-time conversation?
Live translation on Pixel.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Apple invented it in 2025. Where am I losing you?
It's my favorite thing they do at these things.
That's great. And by the way, they even said that these 26 OSs, or OS 26, they're their best OSs yet.
I'm sure they are.
Let's give them a little credit here, though. There was one point when they were going through, I think it was the iPad OS, they were talking about some of the features that were like, have been bitched about for 10 years. And they've put in now. Even Craig was just like, these are amazing. Like he was stepping into it a little bit.
That actually made me laugh.
I thought that was really funny. I was just like, and no one there could deliver it really as well as him. I thought that was really fun. Like they are taking it taking themselves not entirely too seriously on this.
Well, that one moment from
makes up
Craig,
for all the rest. Makes up for all the other years.
And I laughed out loud. Yeah.
No, it was fun.
BYD's 5-minute charge, a game changer. BYD has developed a Megawatt Charging system for EVs that delivers 1,000 kilowatts, enabling a 250-mile charge in just 5 minutes. This breakthrough, integrated into BYD's new 1,000-volt Super E platform, reworks the battery, vehicle architecture, and charger itself. While currently China exclusive, the technology sets a new benchmark for ultra-fast EV charging, potentially overcoming range anxiety and accelerating EV adoption globally.
Let's be clear. When I saw this headline and you showed it to me, I had to go read it 3 times to make sure the numbers weren't off by 1 or 2 zeros.
It's amazing.
There is no part of this that I look at and go, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. I mean, I get it. I understand they're doing it. But look, they're charging this thing at 1,000 volts and 1,000 kilowatts, which another name for 1,000 kilowatts is a fucking megawatt, right?
Yeah.
You were talking about powering communities with this amount of juice. It's bananas. And the story behind this is really fascinating.
That's faster than, by the way, I can refill my gasoline car. 5 minutes. If you truly can charge this in 5 minutes, I fill up my gasoline car in about 7 minutes.
Says you. I got me a 44-gallon diesel truck. That thing, I can read a goddamn book while it refills.
Sure.
I mean, they can literally refill C-17s in the air faster than they can refill my truck. And when you get, sometimes you get a slow pump, like every now you get a slow pump. When I get a slow pump on that thing, I literally just I just go get in the car and recline and just because it's going to be 15 minutes to fill that thing up. It is insane. This is really interesting though. So BYD has stated they've had to basically develop their own supply chain internally for this because they're using 1,000 volt and 1,500 volt components that otherwise didn't exist, like at the transistor level.
1 megawatt it's delivering.
Let's back up for a second though. They had to build a new refrigerant system for these fucking batteries. And I'm like, wait, what? You've got a refrigerant system in because it's chemical storage of energy generates a lot of heat. So your waste product is a lot of heat, right? They're not as efficient as you'd like them to be when you shove the energy in. You get a bunch of heat that comes out. And I'm just like, this is amazing. I'm not sure you need it this fast. I like the idea. I do.
Pretty cool.
No, it's not pretty cool. It's really cool. It's like, this is a really neat concept. I'm worried about the safety profile. But what happened when I read this was something that hasn't happened to me to date, right? And the change happened when I read this article earlier today or yesterday, which was, oh shit, BYD is eating our lunch.
Oh, sure.
I know you've been saying this for a while, and I've been like, yeah, I feel like it's, it's not catch up.
No, they're way ahead of us.
And then I look and I go, oh, yes, you're moving in this direction. Like you are truly moving this forward, and we are kind of fighting over yesteryear. And okay, we're fine.
Okay, enough with the headlines. In fact, enough with the episode. We have to get out of here. Special thanks to our floor director, Matt Darling.
I thought it was Matt Groening. We got Matt Darling?
Matt Darling.
It's a reasonable number 2 to Groening. Thanks, Matt.
We'll be back later this week with our big story, our next energy revolution, infinite power. Until then, thank you for listening to all this nonsense. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Stittle.
Ciao.
Now I'm definitely hungry. You know what we need on this show, Jeff?
You tell me.
Professional capability for professional use.
Fantastic.
Because our business needs required, sophisticated, state-of-the-art technology that we could take, and we should take the opportunity to get a new handle on our business with the MOS computing systems. The MOS 286-based portable and desktop configurations will provide us with what no other computer system can, a powerful, reliable, and thoroughly tested product supported by a capable team of production engineers, technical assistant staff, qualified sales personnel, and a strong management team.
Sounds crowded.
The MOS 286 system combines the best in advanced technology to afford you more than just a computer, but an advanced scientific tool to simplify age-old problems. A choice of 8, 10, or 12 megahertz 8286 CPUs, now let's be clear, that's millions of hertz, provide more speed and performance than either the IBM XT, AT, or most other compatible systems.
Wow.
It includes 1 megabyte of onboard RAM, which provides an ample amount of memory space for the most sophisticated software, such as AutoCAD, Lotus, Word 3, or any other specialized software package to meet your needs.
Fantastic.
Whether you're using it for business or personal use, the MOS 286 system enables you to achieve more than you've ever imagined possible.
Fantastic. I don't know the Moss company. I don't know. I'm guessing
Nobody
this
does.
is just
It's like these guys in a shack in Marina Del Rey.
right. I'm guessing this is a 286 computer is what you're selling here, right?
It is a 286 computer. Yes, sir.
I don't remember. I had an 8086,
Okay.
and that had to be, but I had it. That was later. I had that probably in 86.
Okay.
So the 286 could have been 2 years later, maybe 88.
87. This ad was
87.
September of 87. The part of this that I really want to highlight, and I'll put a link in the show notes, is what they call a portable solution. Do you remember this was the one that was like it was like a 4 cinder blocks glued together, a case.
Yeah.
But remember the keyboard would like flip up and cover the screen and the floppy drives?
Sure.
It was kind of a cool design. Like I kind of want to go get one of these and then retrofit like a Raspberry Pi in there. The thing weighed, I don't know, 25, 30 pounds.
Also, you don't have to go to the gym.
Exactly. Like put it this way. If you were flying with this thing now, they would charge you an excessive baggage fee. It's that big.
Of course.
I never had a 286, so there is a 286 gap. My first PC was a 386, so I skipped the 8088 and 286 set. I'd also like to point out for listeners who have listened to our previous ads on this, that this machine did include a 287 coprocessor.
Floating point fun.
Looked up the address, Glencoe in Marina Del Rey, now some sort of new, I don't know, like apartment building or something. Definitely wasn't what was there 40 years ago.
No doubt.